Are you thinking about signing up for a Christmas in July craft fair? And are you wondering, will it be a Christmas miracle, or are you just trying to make fetch happen? Hi, I'm Bill from the Craft Fair Insider, and I've been doing in-person craft fairs and also selling online since around 2016. And, well, I have some thoughts. Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's video. Now, I'm recording it in June, and one of the things I am noticing even more than last year is we're starting to see a lot more craft fair events that are themed Christmas in July. So we know that Christmas in July has been sort of a niche thing for people that have really been into Christmas decorating. Of course, we have Hallmark Channel that does all of their Christmas in July, leading up to the releases of new movies. And I am starting to see even more craft fairs with, again, that theme of Christmas in July. And I see people posting questions on some groups asking whether or not they're worth it. So I thought I'd give you some of the pros, some of the cons, my personal experience with them, and then you can decide for yourself if it's something that makes sense for you. Don't forget, if you learn a little tidbits, to like, comment, and share this video. I would deeply appreciate it. Because I'm trying to help as many craft fair folks out there as possible, and that's what the channel is about. So we do see, like I said, the growing popularity in this. We're also starting to see a little bit of Junoween, but we're not quite there yet. That's even more niche than Christmas in July. So I'll probably end up doing a video next year about Junoween. For now, let's stick to Christmas. So some of the pros of doing Christmas in July craft fair are going to be, there will be fewer themed craft fairs available for you to go to versus November, December, even in October is when we start seeing all the holiday bazaars come up. In every church, every school, any place that has a parking lot, they're everywhere. They're every weekend. They're going. If you miss one, wait 5 minutes and there's another one. So if you are somebody who specializes in Christmas holiday, even Hanukkah type items, then that is something that you are going to stand out for a little bit more than the person who maybe does, let's say, soaps, and then they have like the 3 Christmas themed scented soaps available where they're just touching on it, or maybe they have a lot of embroidered tea towels, and then there's the 5 Christmas that they do. So if you are all in on the holiday, you will definitely stand out compared to other ones. Another benefit to doing a Christmas in July craft fair is there are going to be some of those early shoppers, those people that are planning. They've had their Christmas list since last year, and they're getting ready to check things off of that. So you are going to grab those people's attention, and you might get a few sales that way. The other thing is, it'll allow you to sort of test maybe new designs or things with the crowd before going whole hog and making everything in a particular style, design, what have you. It'll be, your little toe in the pond, so to speak, and see if you can get some reaction from those that really like the Christmas stuff. Now, a really, I think, important benefit to having your Christmas items made and available for Christmas in July events, for those, that I think is most of my audience, those that both sell in person and online, is it's going to give you a jump start on having your pictures and your descriptions for your website or Etsy or wherever it is that you're selling. So if you have to make the items anyway in preparation for the Christmas in July sale, at the very, I don't want to say worst, but if it doesn't sell in person, then you're going to have it early and we'll be able to get it up well ahead of anyone else for the actual Christmas shopping season. So that's a bit of a bonus, I think. You know, gauge people's reactions to what you are having available for them, and then you sort of make your improvements based on that feedback, and then that'll help you both online and in person as well. Now, there are some cons associated with Christmas and July craft fairs, and that is, it's July, it is pretty much one of the slower months. So it's really important that you set your expectations. This is not going to be a Black Friday event. Maybe there'll be a bit more traffic, possibly, maybe, perhaps, than an average fair because of the novelty in some cases. But it's definitely not going to be your normal Christmas crowd. Of course, you know, you have your normal weather concerns about rain and wind and things like that. But, and this is something that I've experienced several times, which is one of the reasons why I've stopped doing some craft fairs, what I'm going to call too early, in that the heat. People, the reaction to me selling Christmas items when they're there in, you know, shorts, tank tops, it's almost 100 degrees, they're melting, they're almost annoyed at it, and they just don't want to think about it, and they, of course, have to say something and then walk past the tent. But that's a real challenge for most of us that are in at least the U.S., where Christmas is normally generally cold for a lot of us. I know Florida, southern states, things like that, Christmas isn't like snow-covered wonderland, but for a lot of people, northern hemisphere, 100 degrees is not Christmas to them. So they won't even look at your items, almost out of spite. So just something to think about. And even if the weather is a little bit nicer, shopper expectations depends on how the craft fair is actually set up. So is it Christmas in July in name only? So are there the same summer fragranced candles there, the, you know, flowery soaps, jewelry, all the normal things at a craft fair any other month, but they just stick a label on it and call it Christmas in July? It's not going to be super successful. If the craft fair organizers are specifically looking for Christmas themed items, Christmas decor, Christmas ornaments, etc., then that's going to match the buyer expectations. And when you match the buyer expectations, ultimately you're going to have a more successful craft fair. So I know that goes a little bit against what I said about less competition, but that's more the competition that'll be at the craft fair, which will probably be a smaller one versus, you know, competing with multiple craft fairs at one time with the same type stuff. So if you only sell Christmas, great. If you're not super sure on how far into Christmas you want to go, because maybe it's one of the situations where it's a little more of a label of Christmas in July, then, you know, do 40% Christmas and 60% the rest of your products, or do a 50-50 mix. Give people options where they can pick from. So I know for me, because I sell the ornaments, I sell ornaments for, every major holiday. So, in addition to Christmas, I will also have things for Halloween, and I have summer ornaments. I have LGBT pride ornaments. I have Valentine ornaments. I have Easter ornaments. And the percentages that I show in each sale will vary based on the time of the year. So if it is truly a Christmas in July, full on, that's everybody, then I will have more Christmas ornaments, and I'll have a much smaller footprint of the rest of them. So it just depends. If you're able to flex your stock based on the type, then fantastic. So for you to decide whether or not it's worth it, do your same research as you would anything else. Who's organizing it? Are you able to figure out, what was attendance like last year? What's the vendor mix going to be? And then, are you prepared with Christmas items for the event? So don't sign up for an event and then, rush to get a lot of things ready for sale. Hopefully you're slowly and surely adding things, because by the time you hit July, especially online, you want to make sure that your Halloween stuff is up in July by August 1st. And if you are selling online Christmas items, you want to make sure that those are up by August. Because those early bird folks are looking for it. Then you're also in all the algorithms, the Googles, the Etsy algorithm, things like that. You're in there and can be found. So hopefully you are working on those seasonal items now, even though I'm in the Northeast and we're about to dive into a heat wave. So it's kind of, if you have to fake it, I guess, crank up the air conditioner, close the door, make it feel really cold, and put on Christmas music, and that might help you get in the mood. I've done that. One thing that I will say is I will pop on Hallmark Channel in July and have those Christmas movies going, and it does wonders to get you in the mood there. So. Now, because you're prepping early, hopefully, think about your marketing value as well, because now you have all these new items. Again, you could take pictures, prep social media for the holiday season. Take your Instagram pictures now, do your Instagram reels, videos, whatever. Throw it on TikTok. Get ready. You don't have to publish them now. You can if you want to, also do a marketing campaign for Christmas in July, but at the very least, it's going to be one less thing you're going to have to worry about when it comes to the actual holiday season. When you are busy with markets and keeping up with inventory, you'll have that stockpile of marketing materials that you would have taken now. For the things that you are testing, and kind of go from there. So I guess ultimately, as long as you're going into it with the right mindset and expectations, you're not thinking it's going to be a Christmas event, you're not thinking, oh, it's going to be a new Black Friday. If you're balancing it that you understand what type of event you're going into, is it a label or an actual Christmas event, then, you'll probably do fairly well for that. So I would love to hear from folks what their experiences are with Christmas and July events. Do they work for you? Do they not work for you? Let me know in the comments. And I guess thank you for watching this week's video, and good luck out there.